Welcome, Solarah here. I hope you guys are doing well today. I have a quick reading that I want to delve into. I'm on a bit of a time crunch, but I wanted to get it out of the way before it gets too late and I get too tired. So, yeah, those of you who know me know that my short readings are anywhere from like 30 to 45 minutes. So they're still, substantial, but short for me. Okay, so welcome if you're visiting here for the first time. My disclaimer before we get into everything is that I strongly encourage you to not stay if you're not vibing with my energy. Even if you think that the message you're vibing with it, it's better off for you to get the message from someone who you are actually frequentially in alignment with. It's very important at this juncture of ascension to be true to thyself in all ways, be true to yourself in all ways, and staying in places where you're not frequentially aligned with other beings is a form and an act of self-betrayal. So, if you don't like me, that's okay, you don't have to, I'm not here for everyone, but you're better off if you don't like me to keep it moving and find someone that you are in alignment with, because that will help you to really maximize the potential of your own power. Okay, welcome. If you're returning, welcome to my newest subscribers. Thank you to all of you for all of your love and your support. I want to just get right into this message. Oh, thank you to those of you who are joining me next Sunday for my first Road to Recovery, back to wholeness rather, small group sessions. I'm really very excited to meet up with the 7 of you who signed up. I didn't expect it to sell out so quickly. So thank you for those of you who asked if I'll be doing it again. I definitely will be. I will see how this first one goes, and then I will be back here to let you know when the next one will take place. It will take place again probably in the month of April. So yes, stay tuned for those announcements, as well as the announcement for the April dates for the Tarot Astrology group Q&A. So this message started coming through yesterday morning for me. First and foremost, I want to throw out some dates. These dates might be upcoming. These dates might have been dates of significance for you. These dates might be significant collectively. I haven't really delved into them yet. Please don't think that if the date isn't significant to you, that the reading isn't for you. It just means that there might be more significance for you. It might be time for you to perk your ears up a little bit more if the date catches you. So I got July 28th, September 28th, September the 7th, September the 9th, July the 9th, and July the 7th. And what I just heard is 2 or 3 days on either end. So I guess that would mean the bracket of July the 25th through to the 1st of August. When I think about it that way, that's the first decan of Leo. Then it would be September 25th through to about the 1st of October. And then that would be the first decan of Libra. Yeah. September 4th through to the 12th. That is the second decan of Virgo. And then July the 6th through to the 10th. That is the second decan of Cancer. Okay, alrighty. So Cancerian energy, Libran energy, Virgo energy, Cancer, Virgo, Libra. I think that's it. Cancer, Virgo, and Libra. Very interesting, because there's a lot of that energy that has been coming through recently. Even the last reading I did, when I was looking at the the body tarot, the card that came out was the eyes, and that was the Chariot. Seeing our way forward, seeing our way ahead, where we weren't able to see before. And this is something to do with the grids. This is something to do with, because of the Cancerian energy, it has to do with the grids. The Virgo energy means it has something to do not only with self-liberation, but the honoring of self and our own our own rhythms that connect us with our own like daily schedules and practices that align us with our power, which actually helps us to know and to learn how to properly utilize our energy for ourselves before going out into the Libra energy, where we begin to share it intimately with an other or others. The Libran energy is also very concerned with finding the balance between heart and mind, meaning that it is where we learn how to make decisions with our minds that are bolstering and supporting our heart's truth, as opposed to what we were doing in the Matrix, which was we were constantly going against 1733, as I say this, we were constantly going against our own needs, our own Virgo energies, our own natural rhythms and needs, what we need in order to thrive. We were constantly sacrificing that in order to either belong, to be accepted, and we did that oftentimes by overwriting the true desires of our hearts in order to settle for what someone else or something else needed from us, or what we felt we had to give. Okay, so there's an end to that. There's an end to that relationally speaking. And when I say there's an end to something, I mean that the collective energies no longer support it. So what that means is that you have free will all the time. You can choose to stay stuck in any kind of karmic agenda, cycle, spell that you want to be in. It's not that it just goes for everyone. It's a personal choice that we align to. But the point is, if you are a being who is doing the work to break yourself free, then what is occurring now is the ways that you would once upon a time betray yourself in these dynamics. It's becoming more obvious when you're doing that. It's becoming more obvious when things are not in alignment with your truth. Once upon a time, the collective lies and the illusions of the Matrix supported deception. And now what it feels like is happening more and more as we continue to progress in our healing, and as the shifts occur on the earth, the collective energy no longer supports the lie. So when we try to be in deception, we feel it more succinctly. Things are there's no longer like a time lag for many things. So once upon a time, if you were going to learn, and I've noticed this for a while, and another reader wrote about this today also. And once upon a time, your karmic lessons, it might take a whole lifetime to learn something. It might take a couple of years. But now when you do something, and karmic lessons come up as we betray ourselves to put us back on track, to get back into divine alignment with our truth. This is why we're not here to suffer, we're here to learn. The suffering is just to get us back on track, not for us to stay in it, because we value ourselves, or we should be valuing ourselves enough to know that we do not, suffering is not our lot, right? But once upon a time, it would take a longer time to learn these lessons. These lessons are you're learning them instantly and more rapidly. There's no more time lag. And with that also, there's no more time lag in things coming into being. For some of you, in the world of spirituality, they call it like instant manifestation or whatever. And that really is that you're coming back online on all planes, because we are supposed to be able to instantly bring things into being. We are, and we've been working our way back up, and the time lag that keeps us from doing that has always been our own mental energy and all of the emotional stagnancies born of the trauma cycles that were stored in our fields. And because we've been clearing that, aligning that, retuning, reprogramming our minds and our hearts, clearing out the emotional crap that were the actual blocks, that the spells that were being projected towards us, they were feeding off of those blocks and keeping us more blocked. As we continue to do that, and even as I was speaking about in the last video, as we do that on all planes, as we master that now on the physical planes, there will be, we are speeding up our ability to call things into being instantly. I hope that makes sense. And that actually ties in with what actually came through. And what came through yesterday morning, it said flicking the lights back on. The lights are being flipped back on. So our true earth grid, like it's what I like to call it these days, our true earth grid, was powered off. And there was a grid that sustained the false matrix that was in full effect for as long as we were wounded. That grid has been powering off slowly, okay? And now the true earth grid, it feels like there was a surge of power that entered it and is entering it still, but really through the equinox window. Okay, so flicking the lights back on, and really through yesterday's, also yesterday was the third 3-3 portal of the month. And I don't know if you guys remember the video I did about the first 3-3 portal of the month, where we were being activated also through the leap year window. And you can check that video out if you haven't watched it. It was the video with the title 3-3 portal in it. But there's something that is connecting us back to this energy that is helping things to come forth very rapidly. I just did a word for your day for my Substack peeps, and there was this very powerful message that was coming through that things are actually closer right now than they appear. Okay, so the matrix illusions, the illusions of the matrix, it was a lot of mirror magic that had you thinking that things were closer than they were, or farther than you thought they were, and now everything seems to be coming back into perfect focus, which is why I think that even connecting back to the eye energy of the Chariot that came out the other day. Let me see if I can find that card. Yeah, the eyes. Everything is coming back into focus. So this is in this body tarot deck. The eye is the Chariot. Okay, so that's the main card that came out in our reading 2 days ago. So everything is coming back into focus, and the reason everything is coming back into focus, and the reason why there's no longer time lags between things happening, and even your karmic lessons, you're learning them very rapidly, is because the more you come back into the truth of who you are internally, you cannot be duped by the external lie. So literally, the work has always been internal. The more you come back into your truth, the more you come back into your power. The minute that something is out of alignment, in terms of like it just being deceptive, it's instant now. You know it now. You recognize it now. It's faster for you to see it because you're walking in truth. And when you're walking in your truth and you're in alignment with that, then the illusions that try to come to take you out of it can no longer stand. In fact, they will bow down to you. Those illusions, those energies will try to come into your fields, and they will have to leave, or they will have to surrender to you or bow down to you, because they cannot challenge you when you are walking in your power. And your power is accessed by being in divine alignment with your truth. So flicking the lights back on, there's some kind of repowering or a power surge that is coming through the true earth grids right now. And yeah, this is what it said, powering up the new earth grid. So those dates I shared with you might be of significance personally, but they might be of grave importance coming up this year between Cancer and Libra season, which already is a huge window for the grids, because once we enter into the second quarter of the zodiac wheel, which begins with Cancer, so the second quarter of the zodiac wheel encompasses 3 signs: Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. And those are the 3 signs that connect you to your ability to properly set your emotional foundation, heal yourself of emotional wounding, and recalibrate your heart, which is your ultimate stargate and what connects you to the true earth grids. Now, the grids of the earth are run off of your emotions. So Cancer, Leo, and Virgo season are very important for the purging, the calibrating, the recognition of where you are emotionally. And it's very important in terms of how the grids are set for the next year ahead. Okay, so what's I saying about this too? Oh, and it's very powerful, Sirius energy, and that's another energy that was coming through in that 3-3 portal reading about the heliacal rising of Sirius. It occurs anytime between, I think it's late July through to the first week of September, which is Cancer, Leo, and Virgo energy. Depending on where you are in the world, it tends to fall between those dates. It happens most of the time in August, but there's a gap on either side with July and September, depending on where you are in the world and, the issue of time, because it changes over time. So yeah, something about the Sirius energy that's going to be coming through this year. What it feels like is this year's 8-8 portal is going to be very, very significant for some of you. It is every year because it's the activation of our galactic codes for the year, but it feels like when I speak about the instant manifestation, I feel like there's something that's occurring right now through this window that is going to bolster the summer solstice or winter solstice, the June solstice. It happens in June, right? Yeah, the June solstice. Something's going to bolster that, and it's like a knock-on effect also on the start of the galactic new year and the 8-8 portal. $17:44 on my clock. We've also reached the point on Ascension where there's no turning back. That was coming through on today's Word for Your Day for my Substack patrons also. There's no turning back, and I feel like what that is speaking about, like many of you will say, oh, I'm never going back, and yeah, we can say that, but it's beyond like the personal choice. So even for people who insist on going back, the level of suffering is going to go up so high that it's going to either, people are going to stay in that suffering or it's going to force them out. There's no staying anymore where you don't belong without, I don't want to say dire, but like magnified consequences and, like magnification of the discomfort of being in the wrong place. It's going to grow, and for everyone that's going to be different. Some people will stay in that uncomfortable place until it kills them because of fear is really what it comes down to, and that will also be part of their judgment. Those beings who want to cling onto the old world, etc. But frequentially speaking, we keep on reaching these thresholds of you can't go back. But there's something very final about this new threshold that is being met through the equinox, the 3-3, yesterday's 3-3 portal, and Monday's full moon eclipse. Almost like what's going to occur through the eclipse energy is going to make it near impossible to go back somewhere. And I'm even getting right now, like for some that could mean like, and I spoke about this, I've been speaking about it since the beginning of the year, about the splitting of the worlds. We've been existing in multiple worlds and timelines as everything collapsed, and the two worlds that have been being created, that the two vast polarities that we've been experiencing, there's like a fission, like a split, like how a cell divides itself into two. And I went into this in, like, if you want to go back to some of my earlier readings in the very beginning of January, I talked very specifically about this. It feels like there's no more, for some beings who have pushed themselves out of the old world completely, that old world can no longer touch them. And it's almost like there's no more connecting of the two. And this is going to, of course, occur frequentially first. Like you're going to feel it first, and you probably already have experienced it in different ways. But now it feels like it's about to kick up gear. So, for example, for those of you who don't have hostile situations with family and former friends, but you knew that you had to move away, but it's kind of difficult to actually completely sever the tie because there's nothing concrete there, you know, so you still kind of have been going around them, right? But keeping your distance and honoring yourself and protecting yourself. You notice whenever you go back into those friend circles, those family groups, you notice how out of place you feel. They notice how out of place they feel. Now, some of them, a lot of them, will notice how out of place they feel, and instead of going internally, going within and asking why, that's when they begin to project and start shit with other people, right? Like it's someone else's fault. It's not like just everyone's out of alignment and we can leave it at that and walk away and get into alignment. No, we got to start an argument and point fingers and blame and all that other shit, which is just projection, right? It's not taking responsibility. So for those of you who felt that, it's going to be to a point where there will be no more succumbing to those energies of feeling like you can still be around. And I feel like it's going to be a very mutual thing also. I feel like people who are not supposed to be in your energy will no longer be able to be. And it will be also by their own choice. Especially those who you haven't had hostility with, but you know you're not divinely aligned with them. Now, the ones that you have hostility towards you, whether it's covert or overt and the spell work and all that other shit, and you moved yourself, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about those like gray areas where you removed yourself because it didn't feel right, and you're kind of trying to feel your way around it to see, to discern deeper what it is that you're sensing and how it is you're supposed to move in it. Those kinds of gray areas of energy, where there's like a frequential, interruption almost, why can't I think of the word, like a frequential disturbance. And sometimes frequential disturbances happen because things are balancing out, and so we are supposed to like wait and see what's going to happen. But there's something here about those gray areas of energy, that those pockets that can no longer exist within the context of situations you still find yourself a part of, and there's no more walking into those gray areas anymore, because, and this again comes back to the clarity of who you are. When you are clear with yourself, when you know who you are, when there's no more arguing with yourself about who you are, when you're ready to claim the highest, this is scorpionic energy now, when you're ready to claim the highest aspects of self without ego, you know, and then when you're ready to also claim the lowest aspects of self without shame, when you are able to see yourself in the fullness and clearly and realize that you are the all, literally, You can express yourself through everything and anything. It's your personal choice. When you realize that, without ego and without shame, when you realize that, then everything, your frequency becomes clear. And it feels like there's a clearing of personal frequency that then is allowing for that frequency to be properly rooted in the earth. And once you're rooted in your true frequency, everything that is out of alignment with that frequency automatically shows itself when it tries to enter into your reality. And even better still, the stronger you get in your frequency, you repel that energy away from you. You repel it. And some of us already do, and then beings be trying to still try to get into your energy anyway. And it's just like, you don't like me. You don't have to come here and express that you don't like me. Why don't you just move the fuck away? I ain't begging you to stay, but there are people who like to be miserable, or they think that they can try to bring you down, by staying in your energy, etc., etc. It's just like, but you ain't hurting me at this point, because I see you. I see your misery. I see your lack of alignment, that you have to keep on coming in places where you're not frequentially aligned, because I ain't coming into your energy and starting shit. You're coming into mine, which means that you're out of alignment, and you keep on going to places you don't belong, which means you're going to keep on calling in shit that you don't want, because you refuse to get rooted in your true frequency and leave other beings alone to do the same, and then just be a rooted tree and allow the things that are supposed to come towards you for you to thrive to come. Instead, you are chasing, and you're in survival mode, trying to get to other people instead of worrying about yourself, like that little girl said. I don't know if y'all remember that video a few years ago. That went viral, with that toddler sitting in the back of the car, and her mother or her father asked her if she's putting her seatbelt on, and she goes, "Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself." Some people really need to worry about themselves. Let me get into the reading, because I got I'm going to be out of here in like 6 minutes. So I'm using my big ass Syrian Starseed Tarot deck. It's by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha. I'm just going to pull 3 cards I'm drawn to, face down, not looking at them. What's at the bottom? Yeah, look at this. This is the Six of Flames. It's funny, I use the Crystal Magic Tarot deck for my Substack patrons for their word for your day, and the Six of Wands came out then too. Six of Wands is the Leo energy, the second decan of Leo that connects us to the 8-8 portal. Okay, so the Six of Wands rules over 10 to 19 degrees Leo. It is it normally falls around July 31st through to maybe like the 10th of August, give or take a day, right? So yeah. Even longer than that, maybe even the 13th of August. But anyway, the Six of Flames is the card that I know, like, other readers will say it's the card of personal victory, and you're walking through, and it's public acclaim, and yada yada yada. But how my guides speak to me about it, because for me it's all about ascension, is the Six of Wands energy is when you connect with your galactic codes, and those silent, invisible witnesses that are there, that you are connecting to, that are actually multidimensional aspects of yourself a lot of the time. If you are an ancient high-frequency being, that they're just aspects of yourself that you just don't remember, and they're helping you. And then what we're going through right now is calling all of those parts of self back into the oneness field of who we are now in this ascension. They're the ones who are clapping. Well done. You got to where you're supposed to be. You're in alignment. Leo energy is connected to the sun. The sun is a card of divine alignment. Like the alignment you need in order to access another level of North Node living. Yes? Sixes are also connected to the lovers in the tarot. and also to some extent the devil, because 15 is a number 6 also. The devil is a number 15 card. And both the lovers and the devil have to do with contracts, okay? So the lovers has to do with your true divine contracts, which you access as you come into alignment, right? And the devil has to do with your material contracts. Those contracts you sold yourself out for, you sold your divine contracts out for in order to be a part of, you know, the matrix before you knew better, as well as the true agreements you have with Mama Earth. So the devil is not necessarily a terrible card. It has to do with contracts, but also which ones you're going to honor and how you utilize balance in living in this material sphere while being a high frequency being, and learning how to properly you know, work in that energy in a way that you're not fragmenting and losing yourself to the false grid or the false earth. Let's see what actually came up. The overarching thing. Look at this. Luna. Luna, the number 18 card. Did I talk about that? The moon card is the yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. The moon is that energy where we have to begin to, it's sandwiched right between the star and the sun. And the star is Aquarian energy, the sun is Leo, and then we have the moon smack in the middle, which for me I read as both Cancer and Pisces energy. The moon is when you have to walk through the illusions that are going to take you into brightness, and there's illusion because it's not the true source of light. It's where a lot of distortions can occur because things are mirrored. The moon does not provide its own light, it simply reflects back the sun. The moon is very powerful in reflecting back to us truth for as long as we're in alignment with truth. If we're not in alignment with truth, if we are still living in deception, then it's easy to get caught up in the illusions that we actually are calling in. It's not the moon that's doing it to us. It's actually always been our energy that was allowing for certain things, because that's how powerful we are. Okay, so the moon is about making our way through shadows. It's about not getting lost in the illusions, the inversions, the deceptions, that the fact that the light is a reflection of true light can drag us into. The moon is also the way you begin to learn how to calibrate your own emotional fields. The moon, just like the moon calls forth the waters on the earth, the moon calls forth the waters in you every single month. Okay, so when that occurs, the reason why they say like a lunatic or lunacy is because a lot of the time people who have a very strong emotional resonance and have a lot of emotional wounding, when the moon becomes full and it draws that up in them, they don't realize that's what's happening, and they can become very susceptible to all manner of attacks. Okay, and then they act out from that place, and they call them lunatics. When the moon gets full, the lunatics come out, right? That's why. Even like you hear there's a lot of accidents around the full moon. Cancer is the sign that the moon rules. In Cancer is the sign under which more domestic violence and intimate violence occurs. Okay. So this is also about, it feels like there is a draw, through this full moon eclipse, there's a very strong drawing process of the crap that needs to come out and be expelled out of your reality, your emotional fields, your waters. Everything is birthed through your waters, etherically and physically, spiritually and physically. Everything, and I've spoken about this before, every realm is divided by waters, right? Everything comes through water. Everything is birthed through water. And the example of that energetically is the emotions. Your emotions are tied to water. The reason you can connect with other realms, realities, a psychic lack phenomena is through the waters. That's why intuition is connected to the waters. The waters connect you with things that you need to know, but you can't see. You can only feel and discern it through like your extrasensory perception. Okay. There is something, and because I've got to get ready to go, there's something here about this full moon eclipse that is having a very powerful drawing energy on you and on the earth that is here to like clear out the parasitic energies that that have to go. And an interesting fact, because we were talking about, you know, the body and getting rid of these parasites, toxins, etc., that are actually a big cause of a lot of the degenerative and metabolic disorders and illnesses of our time that have been taking us out. Parasites will often, when they live in you internally, they will come up during the full moon to lay eggs. So it's a really powerful time to do parasite cleanses is around the full moon, and to show you how everything energetically connects. It's why many witches around the full moon will use that energy also for banishing. I know the new moon is very powerful for banishing, but so is the full moon. The full moon is powerful for banishing, but it's powerful for drawing things to the light that then need to be banished through the waning energies, okay, that take you back to the dark moon. And then when you get to the dark moon, the new moon, then you can fully banish that thing out. So speaking about that, there's something that's very powerful that's happening through this full moon eclipse that's going through the new moon eclipse, where there's a very powerful purging and banishing of parasitic energies and entities. Very powerful. And the fact that the equinox just happened 2 days ago and the full moon is happening a few days after, that's another indication. That's something, and I've been speaking about this especially since the full moon in Virgo, but then my guides took me back to my Tarot Astrology Ascension report for, I think it was the full moon, the new moon in Virgo or the new moon in Libra last year, and I picked up on that energy. No, it was a new moon in Libra. I picked up on that energy last year, but I didn't realize it was extending and growing up into this full moon in Libra. And the title of that reading had something to do about the new moon in Libra opens a death portal. This is the portal that has been opening, that as we moved into the full moon in Virgo, my guides were calling like an extraction vortex. This is what is occurring, or what it feels like is about to reach some kind of pinnacle or zenith through the eclipse window of the full moon in Libra and the new moon in Aries. Or if you go by like galactic or Vedic astrology, the full moon in Virgo and the new moon in Pisces, right? So yes, okay. The challenge. Five of chalices. Five of chalices is the Five of Cups. These are all of the energies that have been stealing from you, putting you in lack, taking away your Ten of Pentacles, having you, fragmenting you, dissecting you, leaving you without a voice. Five of Cups is Taurus energy, which is why, I'm going to say it again, Five of Cups. Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles. I'm thinking Five of Pentacles. This is Five of Cups. My bad. Five of Cups is Scorpio energy. So it's still connected to the Taurus energy because it's Taurus's sister sign. So they still work together, the Five of Cups and the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Cups is actually what prepares you for the Five of Pentacles, which makes it even more powerful now that I think about it. The Five of Cups, the way the energies come through, if you're looking at it through the numbers of the tarot, the way things are manifested, it's the Five of Wands, Spirit, Five of Swords, mental planes, Five of Cups, emotional planes, Moon right here, right? Five of Pentacles is what is birthed as a result of the Five of Cups. So there's something about the clearing of the emotional energies that put you in lack. The clearing of emotional energies, and I'm still going to say it, Some of y'all are being called to speak, and through the speaking, that's going to facilitate the clearing also. Okay, the Five of Cups is also that energy that causes you to doubt yourself and to make you think that things will never get better and yada yada yada, and it's what keeps you out of the that scorpionic ability to connect with your highest truth and your lowest truth also. The Scorpio energy is the gatekeeper to your ability to connect with both your dark and your light aspects. It's why the Scorpio energy is connected to the Scorpion, which is your lower nature, the Eagle, which is your higher nature, and then the Phoenix is the integration of everything, the liberation that gets you through the door into your divine power, because you've owned all those parts of yourself. So Scorpio energy is like the gatekeeper to both heaven and hell within yourself. Okay, so the Five of Cups is the first deacon, is the first deacon of Scorpio. 0 to 10 degrees, sorry. It's my group chat with my kids. Guidance. Ooh, Adept of Chalices. Adept of Chalices. I believe this is the Knight of Cups in the regular tarot. Yeah, I believe this is the Knight of Cups. So this speaks of mastering, being able to learn how to look at this. This guy is learning how to swim. He's learning how to ride the waves. Learning how to swim again. Remember, your energy is... remember that your ability to birth your reality is based upon how much you master your own emotional truth and how that connects with the earth. How you utilize the moon cycles to clear you of energies that the moon facilitates in moving. The moon is here to help you purge yourself emotionally every single month. It's why also, even with women having their periods, it's a purging cycle. The moon is here to help you do that so that the things that you birth every month are in alignment with your truth. Okay? Your emotional energies are connected to the grids of this earth. Everything is connected to you emotionally. Okay, so when you learn how to master your emotions, you learn how to connect to your ascended mastery, to do all manner of things, to quote-unquote manifest instantly, to create ex nihilo, to heal yourself, to do everything that you know you're able to do. You must master the waters, and this is what Yeshua was teaching us. It's why Yeshua also came in right at I think it was the end of the age of Aries, and he came right at the beginning of the age of Pisces to show you he's a symbol of water mastery. Okay, I'm going to leave it here because I have to run. But I want to come back to, flicking the lights back on, powering up the New Earth grid. The more you stand in your power and your truth, and you calibrate yourself emotionally in accordance with who you are, as opposed to that Five of Cups energy where you were constantly being emotionally programmed out of your truth to keep you in despair, and therefore despair cycles. The more you do that, the more you are lighting up the grids that are therefore bringing forth the true earth frequencies in a more rapid way. I just feel like something's about to rapidly begin to push the processes forward also. Okay? So that's what I have for you. I've got to run. I'm sending you so much love. I'll be back again soon. For all information on how to work with me, you can visit my website, solarah.info. If you'd like to join me on Substack, the information for that will be below. It's substack.com/@Solarah, or also you can put in dailyalkhemy.substack.com. I will be back this weekend on my Solarah Rises channel with the full moon in Libra eclipse ascension report. I look forward to seeing some of you guys on Sunday, my Substack patrons, for your monthly Q&A. And yes, some of you I'll see next week, but hopefully I'll see you guys on here before I see you for next week's small group session. So I'm sending you so much love. Happy full moon if I don't see you here on this channel until afterwards. I will see you again soon. Take care.